at Talladega. $2.7 million and $1 million bonus for Dale Earnhardt if he can hang on. Dale Earnhardt comes down and will take his 10th career victory at Talladega.
We were at Talladega at the start of the Stroker Race movie, the first place we went. And I'd been involved, I guess, maybe 10 or 12 years by then, and it's Talladega. You can't hardly screw it set up at Talladega. But the stunt guys were saying they couldn't drive the real race car. They were having trouble, particularly going into turn 3. So I went and asked Bud, would he let Dale drive my car? And I admire Bud for saying yes, he didn't have to do that. I understand you wouldn't put somebody in somebody else's car, but I feel like he trusted my setup enough that he let Dale do it. And Dale did it. He went out and he came back in. He said, there's nothing wrong with this car. I said, what's the problem? He said, the guys are having trouble getting into 3. And he looked over my shoulder and he says, are the stunt guys a tall guy and a short blonde? And I said, yeah. He said, well, let them get up here a little bit closer. And when they got up a little bit closer, and he just says, there's nothing wrong with this car. He says, if they can't drive it, I'll give you my mom's phone number. She can drive this car. And them guys they got really embarrassed. And he told them I think what he was telling them was to just trail brake a little bit, not come all the way off the gas going in there. But the other thing he says at Talladega, because I'm trying to drive the number 7 car, the 7-Eleven car, and I'm not a race car driver, and so I was driving maybe 170 or something, not fast as a regular guy, not as fast as a car would go. Cars jumping all around, and I figure I'm scared that I'm shaking or something, so come in, tape the steering wheel, and change the belts, and tuck in my arms, go back out, and it's still jumping around. So I said, Dale, I must be scaring myself. He said, no. He said, that's just how it is. He says it feels different when you go by a gate. It'll act different going through guardrail than it will up against concrete. And the stunt guys were here for this too. And one of them guys said over my shoulder, he says, is it true you can see air? And he said, he's talking to me now, he says, Will, where the grandstand addition at Darlington, at the backstretch where it drops down a step, sits a couple rows back? And I said, yeah. He says, I can tell you when a fat lady in the 3rd row gets up and goes after popcorn. So
about that.
You kind of have to believe he did think he could see air.
Yes.